Yo, what is up, YouTube? This is the first NHL video and the first actual video on this channel. I might play different games, who knows? We will see in the long run. But today we are doing NHL franchise mode. I'll come up with some new ideas later, but this is what I have right now. I am Stuart.proud, but you can call me Stuart Proud. Let's get into the Edmonton Oilers franchise mode video that I use. I have owner mode off, fantasy draft off, NHL cap on, GM firing that turned off automatically, head coach edit lines off. I will do auto staff management because I don't really like that. Fog of War I have off. Player morale I don't have. CPU trades I have on. Auto owner mode, and that one is off, and auto sign free agents is off. And for this I'll have injuries off, 3-minute periods just in case. I'll have all of these on. I'll just have this for 10 seasons because we're doing a 10 season free or not. We're doing a 10 season episode per team. Then for difficulty, it's your liking. I do pro because that's the best I'm on. NHL salary is on. I do medium, and waivers I turn off because it just is stupid. It's a bit stupid. I know you can claim players off of it, but it's like, why? Then for this one, I do a little spicy. It already says high for some engine, but I do generated prospect quality on high and draft class quality on high too. Which you could have those on medium or low depending how hard you want to sort of have young players, because with it on low, you won't have too many good players in the draft. At least if you're in like the fourth round with it on high, you still have some elites too. And for gameplay sliders, it's just attribute effects, which is the bad teams will play more bad if it's more up, and if it's more down, the player or the bad teams will play better. But I will have it on 9. I'm basically sort of doing stuff like Tactics HD. Sorry for the stutter. Speaking of him, you should go follow Tactics because he's doing a Toronto Maple Leafs sim right now, and that's sort of why I'm starting this now. I've been a fan of his for a little bit, and I like what he does. Let's get into this franchise mode. There's on the first line, of course, it is Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman. On the second line, it's Connor Brown, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Evander Kane. Then on the third line, we have Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, and Derek Ryan. Then on the fourth line, which is not really the best, but I'll have to do some moves just to get it a bit better. But we have Drake Kadrula, Dylan Holloway, and Mattis. I always mess up his name. Sorry for saying his name wrong. But Mattis Janmark. We have Darnell Nurse. I say Darnell, people say it wrong, so whatever. And beside him we have Evan Bouchard. Then on the second line we have Cody Ceci and Ekholm. Then on the third line we have Brett Kulak and Vincent Desharnais. And for our scratches we have Lane Pedersen and Philip Broberg. So with this, I had a oopsie. The roster I downloaded before this didn't have the Drysdale and Cutter, I believe. Like his first name's Cutter Gauthier or something. Gautier trade. So I downloaded one, and he had a little bit of different roster ideas, like for overall. So I won't say everything because it's basically the same players. I mean, Sam Gagne is here now. You must have thought. I was sort of thinking, wait, Sam Gagne's not there? So the guy just didn't do much. Like, I seen in free agency, he had Patrick Kane in free agency. And it's like, dude, he's on Detroit. So yeah, we have we have Philip now. So that's good. Then we're being realistic, you know. We have Stuart Skinner, which is at 83, and as I said, his numbers, he should be like an 85, 86. And then in backup, we have Calvin Pickard. I think we'll probably get a different backup that's maybe like 81 to 82. But at that point, we should almost get rid of Skinner. So I don't know. Who knows? We might have Skinner as our backup. Who knows? And my internet apparently has gone out. Weird. The first line we have Seth Griffith. I believe that's how you say his last name. Troy Cadrula and Raphael Lavoie. Then on the second line, we have Xavier Borgo, Craig McCaig, James Hamlin. If you hear thumping, that's cats. Just by the way. We have Carter Savoy, Brad Malone, Tyler Tullio on the third line. Then on the fourth line, which is a little weak, is Dino Cambyse, I think. Jaden Grubb and Matvey Petrov. Vetvy Petrov. However you say his first name. Oh, with defense, first line we have Cam Dinan, Benjamin Gleason. Then beside him we have Philip Kemp and Marcus Niemelainen. Then on the third line we have Noel Hoffnenmeyer and Xavier Bernard. I believe how you say it. Goaltending, we have Oliver Rodrigue and Ryan Fenty. We don't have Jack Campbell in that because we are going to trade him along with Nurse. We have Nurse, a sixth, a seventh, and a third. Going over to Calgary for Mackenzie Weegar. He has 1+1 more year on his contract because Nurse has 7 years, he has 8 years. He's 88 overall, and he's $3 million cheaper. For you non-hockey fans, $3 million to you might not seem a lot, but it's a lot. So let's see if Calgary says yes. They say no, so I might have to add some stuff. Just added a second, and I'm hoping I can get a fourth this year back at least. They say no, but if we take off the fourth, they still say no. What I'm guessing is taking off the seventh and putting a fifth there. Okay, so I've done that. I've done a fifth for this year, and they say no still. So I think we might need to go away from Mackenzie Weegar. I'm going over to the Habs, and I'm packaging Nurse, a sixth, and a seventh over for Caden Gooley and Kirby Doc. They say no, so we might have to spice it up a bit. A second overall pick, and they say yes, which is good, and I will have to change the lines. We just have Kirby Doc on the second line. We have Derek Ryan, scratched, and we have Caden Gooley on the second pair, which is not bad for a trade. We traded it at 87 and got two 84s, which in my mind, that's a win. So now I'm trying to trade away Jack Campbell and a sixth to get a sixth in return. I'm just trying to get rid of his $5 million contract, and they reject. What if we put a seventh there? They still reject. What if we just put a fifth? I sort of just want to get rid of Jack Campbell. They reject. You know, they just don't want to have his contract. I will find another team, I guess. Take one of their lowest players and see if they say yes. They obviously say no to that. But if we add a fifth, still no. They're doing all this over a little prospect that they don't even care about. They accept after a fifth and a sixth. Wow. The difference with that trade making is we have Ty and Brenson on the AHL team. Hopefully he can be a game changer for us. What I'm trying to get is trying to get Philip Gustafson, a 85 overall goaltender. We're sending a 6th round, a 4th round, a 7th round, and a 3rd round pick for the 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2028 draft. And it looks like they say yes, which is good. Contract extensions, and I see Warren Fogle here needs an extension. And for 4 years, he wants 2.3. So I might do straight 2 million for 4 years. Hopefully he says yes to that. Philip Broberg needs a contract, and I'm going to have him for the full 8 years, and it might be cheeky, but I'm gonna do this for 2.1 for 7 years. Might be a little cheeky, but hey, I'm the one that makes the rules here. So hopefully he says yes to that. I'm doing a $900,000 contract for James Hamlin for 3 years. Hopefully he says yes. Then for Savoy, we have a 9.5 for 2 years. Hopefully he says yes. Hoping he does. Fogle with his contract. Hamlin says yes to his contract, which is really good. Philip Broberg did reject his, so we'll have to give him another one. Holloway said yes to his 1.9 million contract. And I believe finally, Niederreiter says yes to his contract too. Roger Savoy says yes to his contract. Anyone else? Nope. So I will give a contract to Philip Broberg, I believe it was. 3.1 for 7 years. We will try a $2.9 million extension. Let's hope he says yes. Start of January, we have a record of 21 wins, 10 losses, and 3 overtime losses, which is pretty good. Games played, Connor McDavid has 38 points, which I would have thought he might have 40 to 50 by now, the way he plays. Then we have Draisaitl at 34, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 32, Kirby Dach with 26, Evander Kane at 5th with 25, with Zach Hyman with 25 too. Then everyone else, a couple 20s, there's a couple that have not a lot. I would have thought these two would have performed a bit better, but they are in the 70s. Under numbers, we have Philip Gustafson with a 27-3 record and one shutout with a 907 and a 288 goals against. Stuart Skinner, not as good. Whatever this guy did to him, God. 130 with 0 shutouts and a 890 and a 329 goals against. Those are not good numbers at all. I don't know what that dude did. Like, he's at 83. Like, dude should be a lot higher. So at the trade deadline, I did look at everyone, and I just didn't find anyone that would like sort of look good on the team. And I think I'm not gonna make any moves at the trade deadline. Like, I would love to get Seth, but like his 9.5 contract is ridiculous. Like, he's the same as Nurse. Crazy. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make any moves and just sim to the end of the season. With Matthews getting 124, Nathan McKinnon with 118, Connor McDavid with, his 114, Mikko Rantanen with 112, Marner with 106, couple 100-point getters, Kirill Kaprizov gets us off at the last 100. Most goals, sorry. Austin Matthews with 77, Mikko Rantanen with 54, like not even close to Matthews, like 20 difference. Then Kirill Kaprizov, Nathan McKinnon, David Pastrnak, Connor McDavid, couple, 40 guys. Connor Bedard there, him and his fractured jaw, but hey, he's a small kid, gotta watch out. For defenseman Cale Makar, most likely he's getting the Norris. Like, EA bumped him up a lot this year. Like, NHL 23, it was always Adam Fox, but now it's always Cale Makar. But Adam Fox behind him, then Quinn Hughes, John Carlson, Eric Carlson, and then Seth Jones. Where was Bouchard? I mean, he was like 10th in goal or defenseman. Not bad. Then goaltenders, it's Philip Gustafson with 44. Then there's Igor Shesterkin, Pavel, Jake Ottinger, UC Saros, Linus Olmark with his whatever he pulled. I remember he pulled something. Shutouts, Bobrovsky having 7, Saros, Hellebuck, Arizona's guy, and then Elvis Merzlikins. Then on save percentage for a starter is Thatcher Demko with Capo behind him and Sergey. Then goals against will be Sergei Bobrovsky, so it's sort of up in the air who's going to get the Vezina. So I guess we'll have to see till the end of the playoffs. It's no surprise. Connor Bedard, he's already at 88 overall. Then we have Zach Benson, Adam Fantilli, Logan Cooley, Connor Zary, all of them. We're going against Vegas first. Let's see what their lines look like. So they're most likely going to be sort of normal. Jonathan Marchessault, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone on the first line. William Karlsson, Chandler Stevenson, Ivan Barbashev. Third line, William Carrier, Nicholas Roy, and Mike Amadoyo, something like that. I can't say words. Then on the last line, the fourth, Keegan Kolesar, Brandon Howden, and PEB. I call him PEB because I can't say his goddamn name. Two, I think, are pretty good, but we might beat them out. Shea Theodore, Alex Petangelo, Zach Whitecloud, Brandon McNabb, Alec Martinez, and Ben Hutton. Sim up to game 4. We lose game 1, we lose game 2, we win game 3. Can we win game 4? We don't. We're down 3-1. Can we bounce back? 1-0, Draisaitl. They get one to tie it up, and they come out with the win, knocking us out in the first round. Not good at all. We're not gonna have a good draft pick, so that's not good at all. Guess we'll have to see who wins. Playoffs, we have Erik Karlsson most likely winning the Conn Smythe. So this is the playoff tree. So Pittsburgh wins against New Jersey, then wins against New York, then wins against Boston, then Vegas wins against us, then Vancouver, then Dallas, and then loses to Pittsburgh in the finals. Awards, we have Pittsburgh winning the Stanley Cup, Colorado with the President's Trophy, Vegas, and then Pittsburgh, we know that. Individual, Matthews with the Art Ross, also with the Hart, Cale Makar, obviously with the James Norris, Mitch Marner with the Lady Bing, which don't see that often, but I've never really had Matt or Marner get the Lady Bing much. Then obviously Connor Bedard with the Calder, Erik Karlsson with the Conn Smythe, which I said. Vezina goes to Demko, really, and also the William Jennings. Then Scandella gets the Bill Masterton, LA coach with the Jack Adams. Then Ryan O'Reilly with the Frank Selke. Ted Lindsay goes to Matthews, and then finally Matthews gets the Maurice Machard. For retired players, Eric Stahl, Jeff Carter, Shea Weber, Wayne Simmons, Brett Seabrook, Anton Stallman, Jason Demers, whatever. Couple, people that everyone knows. Goalies, these guys just can't say their damn name. Like they're gonna get Celebrini, or if there's a AI created player, and it's Celebrini that gets picked. We have the 26th overall pick. Don't know who I will pick. There's this guy that's top 9, 1 year ET. There's this guy then there's this guy, or do we go with someone that's like unknown? I've never really seen this guy pop out a lot. Like, I don't really see lots of these guys that just are crazy studs. Like, I might go with this guy. Top 6. Honestly, yeah, that was a good pick. Second round pick. And there's this guy that's not really elite. We could get this guy that should be top 6. And he's a defenseman, which the Oilers need. Let's look at, there's this guy, there's these two guys that are possibly medium elite. I think I might look at this guy because he's like probably 7th round. So I'll look at him, and I think for this round I will go with Adam. And he's a top 6, which is pretty good. 7th round pick that we do have now. We can pick this guy, which should hopefully be at least a top 6 player. And he's a 7D. you know, as Gretzky said, you miss the shots that you don't take. But I mean, the draft wasn't too good. Obviously, we traded away a couple picks, and that was just to get a better team that lost in the first round. The signing phase, and Connor Brown's asking for quite a bit of money. I think we could get an 83-year overall cheaper, so I think I'll let go of Connor Brown. Jan Mark is asking for a contract. I mean, if he'll do that for maybe 1.6, yeah. Then Sam Gagne, 2 years, 1 mil. Yeah, I mean, I'll do that. I mean, I think I'll get rid of these guys because we need to make room for younger guys. I'll just do this off camera. So I'll probably see you guys sometime. So we're at free agency, and I'm thinking of maybe bringing Jordan Eberle back onto the team. He's asking for 4 million, and he can sort of fill in the spot for Connor Brown. You know, maybe bring him in for 2 years. No one's really interested in him, so we could do maybe 4-2 for him. We can try that, and hopefully he says yes. I mean, there's Teravainen, Niederreiter, Kevin LeBanc. There's Jonathan Taves that's gone up too, because start of the year he was 83, now he's 85. Huh. And no, not his, yeah, his faceoffs are still a 92. Do we bring him on for 1 season? I feel like the team should be good enough where we shouldn't need him. Defense. There's Forsling, Tyson Berry. We could bring Tyson back. Imagine we bring 2 Oilers back. Goalies. I mean, there's Pavel. Just asking sort of stupid money. Like, there's these 86s that are asking like 4 to 5. You know, like Pavel's sort of the only reasonable one. Like 2 to 1 is more what I want to pay a goaltender. Like, obviously, our goalie duo we have right now is 6 million because Stewart's on like a $2 million contract, but you know, Gustafsson isn't. We'll say. But I think that's all we have for free agency. It does go to Chicago, so we'll have to find another guy. Or we trade for him, but I think we'll just pay another guy. Does say yes to our contract. You know, Eberle said that he wants to go to a Stanley Cup contending team. So I don't know why he went to Chicago because Chicago ain't a Stanley Cup contending team. We are, but we probably got something better out of it. Okay, so now we're looking at the lines for the 24-25 season. We have Leon, Connor McDavid, Hyman, as usual. McDavid up to a 99. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Ryan McLeod, Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach went up from an 84 to an 85. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins went up from an 88 to an 89. Evander Kane, Dylan Holloway, Nino Niederreiter. You know, like, I tried this, but it only gives 1. At least Kirby gives, you know, a 3+ overall. So Holloway went up from I believe, a 78 to a 80 overall, which is pretty good. Kane, I believe he's still the same. Then for the 4th line, surprisingly, Warren Fogle dropped down from an 80 to a 79. Then we have Xavier Bourgault and Derek Ryan. You already see Evan Bouchard went from a 85 overall to a 90 overall. That's crazy. Mathis Ekholm went up from an 87 to an 88. Caden went up from an 84 to an 85. I believe CC is still the same. Broberg went up from a 79 to an 80. And then Kulak went down from an 80 to a 78. So we might be trading away Warren Fogle and Brett Kulak. Who knows? And for goalies, it's still the same, with Phillips still at 85 and Skinner still at 83. The third or the AHL team, you really sort of have to pause it. I'm not going to say anyone's names because I'm not really going to care about the AHL team. I'm just going to care about the prospects that are in it. You know, the goaltenders, all that. So that's the AHL team. A switch. I put Hyman on the second line and Nuge on the first because Nuge performed better than Hyman. So I'll do that and have Nuge just be there. Then I put Nino over Kirby because then that'd just be a 1 overall. So hopefully that gets us somewhere. So the next episode, I will most likely probably be trading Warren and Brett Kulak. And I might trade Evander Kane because most of the sims I've done, Kane drops pretty early for his age. Like he produces well, but then he's like a 75. So I think we'll do that in the next episode.